A very good evening to all of you. So today we are here again for the next part of our Organon aphorisms. So last time we have done till aphorism 252. So we will start from 253 today. Last time I shared an experience of my own health with you where I told this about some trouble with my throat, some acute problem which I had. And I told you that after the dose, within few seconds, not even a minute, that I felt something like, some kind of relief, not relief in the pain, not relief in the, what you can say, the obstruction or the congestion. It was still there. It was still there for more, around 1.5 hours or around that time. But still, I felt something which assured me that yes, now this is the right medicine. Okay. So because when I say that, the organ, when we read it, the words, the experiences which happen to us, they make those words true. We feel more convicted in the practice of this homeopathic medicine. We feel more convinced when such kind of things happen with us, around us, with our patients. When we see those things happening, then it gives us more assurance. We feel more confident in this practice of homeopathy, in this practice of medicine. So this aphorism, this 253, these words which are written here as a sign of emulation or aggravation, what we have to see in the follow-up, they have to be taken or understood, and they have to be remembered, because these are the first signs and symptoms which we see in a patient after we give the medicine. These are the symptoms which we should look for. Okay, so they are very important in the follow-up of the case. So we will remember this aphorism 253 and the following aphorisms when we are taking our follow-ups. So aphorism 253, among the signs that in all diseases, especially in such as are of an acute nature, inform us of a slight commencement of emulation or aggravation that is not perceptible to everyone. So among all the signs in all the diseases, especially in the acute nature, but in all the diseases, either they are acute, whether they are chronic, whether they are some kind of acute or some kind of chronic. Okay. So in all the cases, among the signs which inform us that a emulation or aggravation have started, but they're not perceptible to everyone. Okay. The state of mind and the whole demeanor of the patient are the most certain and instructive. So the state of the mind and the demeanor of the patient. The demeanor means the way the patient is behaving, the way the patient is speaking, the way the patient is looking also. That all constitutes his demeanor. So his state or her state of mind and the demeanor, they are the first signs. We have to see the change in the state of mind and the demeanor, the attitude, the behavior, the talk, the look of the patient. What has changed in it after we have given the medicine? In the case of ever so slight an improvement, we observe a greater degree of comfort, increased calmness, and freedom of mind, higher spirits. So whenever there is even a slightest of improvement, we have so many times we have seen, and I have given examples also of so many uh, patients and recently of mine, that the first thing which a patient feels is that calmness. He was in a state of ache, he was in a state of trouble, he was in a state of discomfort. So the first change is that he feels comfortable. Although some symptoms are there, they have not gone away. The fever is still there, the pains are still there, the ache is still there, but there is a feeling of comfort, that even with those kind of symptoms, even with that kind of uh, problems, the patient feels calm. And freedom of the mind, this is a very, very important thing to understand. Now I have talked about the physical pain, the physical discomfort which the patient is still having, but still there is a degree of comfort, there is a degree of calmness. Now the freedom of the mind. Many times, especially in the chronic cases where the patients have been suffering from some kind of emotional disease during the circumstances, due to the circumstances, or some kind of anxieties regarding their jobs, stress regarding their day-to-day life, some family problems, anything which, why the patient is anxious or sad or um, afraid or in that kind of stressed state, why the patient is in that stressed state? Because the mind is not free. The mind is not free. The mind is always thinking, always thinking about something which is going to happen, always thinking about something which has happened. And because of this attachment of the mind, because we have put this energy of our mind into certain situations, we don't feel free to do anything in our present time. So in those kind of cases, and I have seen in every chronic case which has been given the right remedy, and it has shown the right amelioration afterward, even in the physical symptoms, the first thing the patients usually say that, doctor, uh, regarding the stress, if I ask that, how do you, are you feeling mentally, they're saying that although the circumstances are same, the people are same, the stress is same, the job is same, but I feel more comfortable, or I feel more free from that state, that I'm not thinking all the time about those things. Yes, there are those things, I deal with them, I go back to my life, I do more things which I did not used to do. Recently, a lady who have been suffering from a kind of depression from certain time, and because of the family and the business which she had. So this is around, I think, 6 months back. She came for the first time, and I gave her some medicine. She had sleeplessness. She was worried about mother and son, and there was some family business which she was involved in, and there were a lot of stresses regarding her responsibilities. So recently, when she came after 1 month, or I think 1 month, when she came, so I asked her that, how are you feeling now? She said that I'm more happy than I used to be. So now then I started asking her, okay, what are the things, that you are happy about? Something changed in your circumstances, or some positive thing, or some positive results came, or something positive happened? She said that no, everything is same. I will not say that there is much of a change in my circumstances, but yes, I am finding time for myself where I can be more happy, where I can do some things which I like. And those things, that, for example, she said that I like cooking for myself or the family. So from past few years, I didn't felt like cooking. Like, I am a good cook, I know, but I didn't felt like cooking. There was no desire to do such thing. But in past 1 month, I have found that kind of, this. Sometimes I would get that, okay, let me cook this, or I want to have this, or I want to have make this certain dish. So, and that makes me happy. So this is the freedom of mind. When the mind has got its energy back, when people, they have become more free in this, because if you look at it, this stresses or anything which is related with our mind, this bothers us because we are constantly thinking about certain things which are either not happening, which could not happen, or which have not happened according to our expectations. So these are the things which we are constantly, or I may say obsessively, thinking about, and they are taking our time and energy. And the same energy which should be put in a more creative form, in a more healthy form, to do the things which we can do today at this particular time, we do not find that mental energy to do so. So the medicine balances that energy cycle, it releases those energies it breaks those kind of our relationships with those kind of incidents or things which are have happened or we feel are going to happen, and we can use the same energy to make ourselves healthy and the patient appears in a more higher spirits. The patient will feel more happy, more joyous, more free, because freedom is a natural state of health. The freedom of mind, it is a natural state of health. So when you see the patient is coming to that state of comfort, that calmness, that freedom, and that kind of higher energy has started returning, it is a first sign that the improvement has started. A kind of return of the natural state. This is our natural state. This is the state of health where we are always in comfort, calm, and there is a freedom of mind. In the case of ever so small, a commencement of aggravation, when there is even a smallest of the aggravation, all the contrary will happen. On the contrary, the exact opposite state of this, a constrained, helpless, pitiable state of the disposition, of the mind, of the whole demeanor, and of all gestures, postures, and actions which may be easily perceived on close observation. So, on the opposite, when there is an aggravation, we will feel that the person has gone more bad in the state of disposition, the irritability has increased, the feeling of helplessness or the depressed state, the sadness, it has decreased, the energy has declined more. Okay, so we will see that all the gestures and postures and everything, the way the patient is behaving, the whole demeanor, the whole behavior has aggravated. So the first sign of amelioration and aggravation, the patient, it will be difficult for them, although if they are in a state, if it is a chronic, the patients, they can tell about the amelioration, but the aggravation we have to see. Okay, even the amelioration many times we have to see. The patients or the attendants of such patients who are not able to tell, for example, children. In those cases, when the parents are giving the case or telling about this thing, like I have told about one case of mine, that this boy of around 2.5, 3 years old, he had very violent cough. And although the parents also note that thing, the cough, and he was crying and cranky, and he would cling on to the mother. When the medicine was given, after half an hour, the mother told that the cough is still the same, there is no change. But then I asked more that how is that clinginess, and then she told that yes, that irritability has decreased. Now he smiles back when I smile at him, which he did not used to from past 2 3 days since the cough has started. He's less clingy. He's asking for water. He's now paying attention to the other things that are happening. Otherwise, the state was like this, that he would not be able to, like, we could not distract him like to some kind of television or to some kind of poems or something like this. Now we can. So in those cases, we have to see, as a physician, I have to observe whether the patient is going towards decline or is getting better. And these are the first signs, the sign of the state of the mind and the demeanor of the patient. Footnote to Aphorism 253. The signs of improvement in the disposition of mind, however, may be expected only soon after the medicine has been taken, when the dose has been sufficiently minute. So these kind of improvement which we are discussing, that in the demeanor or the mental state, although the physical symptoms are still same, can only be expected or can only be observed when the medicine is sufficiently minute, as small as possible. An unnecessarily larger dose of even the most suitable homeopathic medicine acts too violently, and at first produces too great and too lasting a disturbance of the mind and disposition. If we are giving too large a dose, it can also cause a violent aggravation of the mind and disposition, symptoms of mind and disposition. So it will be very difficult for us to understand whether it is the true aggravation of the disease or the medicinal aggravation. With what we have to consider. If we have given very minute dose, very small dose, and then it aggravates, then we can be sure that the aggravation is of the disease. It is not of the symptoms. It is not a homeopathic aggravation, but it is a aggravation of the disease. But if the dose is too large, then even we cannot decide whether it is the homeopathic aggravation or the aggravation of disease, because a too large dose can violently aggravate the symptoms of mind and disposition also, which not will not be seen in a medicine which is given in a right, which is right and given in a minute dose. There you will see that the improvement of mind and disposition is happening, although the symptoms are same or a slight aggravated, but yes, surely the demeanor or the mind or the state of the disposition has become better. So to allow us soon to perceive the improvement in them. Okay, so they will not allow us to see the improvement in the state of mind if we have given a large dose. I must here observe that this is so essential rule is chiefly transgressed by presumptuous tyros in homeopathy. Tyros are the people who had just started doing the homeopathy. So he is saying that I have seen that this very important rule to give the dose in a very minute dose, this essential rule is basically transgressed, ignored. Okay, that they do not go by this rule. People who are especially the new to homeopathy, or the physicians who are converted to homeopathy from the ranks of the old school, or who have converted from allopathy to homeopathy. Because when your whole teaching of medicine has been under this rule that more the matter increases, the higher is the power, the stronger is the dose. Okay, the more the medicine, the more stronger the dose is. If we think like this, if we have been thinking like this from past 20 years, 25 years, then it is very difficult to suddenly drop that thing and start um, uh, thinking in the complete opposite way. Because in allopathy, in the old school, 30 mg of certain medicine is a certain dose. If you give 60 mg, it is a more powerful dose, it is a more strong dose. 90 mg is more strong dose. Here the matter is increasing. Homeopathy, the more the matter is decreasing, the higher is the dose, and the smallest is the amount. The it will be a good dose. It is the perfect dose. If I give in one globule, it is a perfect dose. But if we think that one globule will not be enough, or one globule dissolved in the water and giving one spoon out of it is not enough, it cannot be a dose, it is so minute, then this is the problem which happens. And I have seen this when very good doctors who want to practice homeopathy, who are practicing homeopathy from from the depth of their heart, that they are following everything. But this one principle, they sometimes, when I we talk about it, they cannot believe it. I will use this word that it is very difficult for them to believe that so small dose can cause an effect or can give a cure. And that is why many of the doctors, they prefer to give in either 30 potency or even the lower potency, so that the aggravation is not there, or the aggravation is manageable. But the aggravation is not coming from the higher potency. I always say that the aggravation, you give any kind of potency, you give 50 cm. I have given all the potencies in certain type of cases. If your medicine is small, it will not produce any aggravation. Aggravation does not come from potency. The whole organ we have been going through, you will not see one aphorism where Dr. Hahnemann will say that the aggravation is because of the higher potency. He will tell you to give the higher potency. Dr. Boeing Hassan later on this experimented with higher potencies in the fevers. Dr. Kent, Dr. Boger, they experimented with the higher potencies with very good results. And you will not find even a single aphorism here which will say that the higher potency will cause the aggravation. It will always be the large dose, the amount of medicine which you are giving. So this is a very important part for us to understand, that this is a very essential rule, to give the minimum dose, not the minimum potency, but the minimum dose. You give any potency, but give the minimum dose. So from old prejudices, these persons abhor the smallest dose of the lowest dilutions of medicine in such cases. So he is saying that uh, the doctors who come to practice homeopathy, who are new to homeopathy or who have converted from the old school, they it is very difficult for them to believe in these smallest doses, and hence they fail to experience the great advantages. So they are not able, they are failing at the experience which the homeopathy can give, those advantages which the homeopathy can give, and blessings of that mode of proceeding, which a thousandfold experience has shown to be the most salutary. Is that thousands of such experiences have shown that this is the right way to give the medicine in the smallest of the dose. They cannot affect all that homeopathy is capable of doing, and hence they have no claim to be considered its adherents. So he's saying that they are not able to get all the results which homeopathy is capable of giving, and therefore they should not claim, or they should not consider themselves as the followers of the homeopathy, that we are strictly following the homeopathy. Because in strictly following the homeopathy, this is one of the essential rules. Dr. Hahnemann has written it as the rule. It is one of the principles, giving the minutest dose. So the other new or increased symptoms, or on the contrary, the diminution of the original ones without any addition of new ones, will soon dispel all doubts from the mind of attentively observing and investigating practitioner with regard to the aggravation or amelioration. So if there are some new symptoms, or the symptoms have aggravated, they have increased, or the symptoms have reduced, they have become better. So an attentively observing physician, he can come to this fact, come to this result, whether the case is going towards the aggravation or it is going towards the amelioration. Though there are among patients persons who are either incapable of giving an account of this amelioration or aggravation, or unwilling to confess it. Now, this is very important. I always say that it is not up to the patients to give you the history. It is not up to the patients to give you a proper follow. You are the final judge whether the medicine is right, wrong, whatever it is. Because many times the patients, there are many kind of patients who come. There are few patients who feel that if I tell the doctor that I'm getting better, he will not give me the proper dose, or he will decrease the dose. So I will not be. So they will not give you a whole account of things which are getting better. I have a patient who will come to me and she will start complaining about the symptom, that I have this pain, I have this thing, I have this thing, I have that thing. Okay, then I'll say that anything better than the last time you came 1 month back? What is better? She said, I do not feel much, maybe a little better here or there. Then I start asking all the symptoms which she told me the last time. This, okay, that is gone. That is not there right now. Yes, that is better. That pain has decreased. So there are certain patients who are, a little suspicious, that if I tell the whole improvement, then the doctor might not give me a proper dose, or he will decrease the dose, because they are also thinking in that material manner, that if he does not give me a proper dose or a stronger dose, or a, you know many patients, they will come to you, the doctor, a small or slight dose do not work on me, so give me a strong dose. So you have to take care of those patients, that these patients, they have this kind of thinking or belief, that only a strong dose is going to give them some relief, and they are mostly the people who will not give a good account of the follow up, or who are unwilling, like the unwilling to confess. Some are incapable because of their mental faculty. Many times uh, for example, if some symptom goes away, if some symptom gets better, they forget about that symptom, that it ever existed, until you uh, go down their memory lane and then you ask them that you used to have this, then yeah, but now it is gone. Okay, so there are people who are, because of their intellect, they are not able to analyze or give a proper account of amelioration or aggravation. So there also we are responsible for it. We have to ask them. Then there are certain patients who want to be in the good grace of the doctor. Many times the patient feel, if I tell the doctor many complaints, then he might get offended. He will not give me the medicine, or he will not like, he will get angry for me not getting better. So many times the patients, they are, no, I'm good, doctor. Yes, I'm very good. There also you have to be very cautious. Just don't take their words for it. Ask about the symptoms. Okay, tell me about this symptom. How's the intensity? How's the frequency? Is it still there, or it is gone? Yes, little there. I think it is same as last time. And when you, so there are both kind of patients. So we should not literally go with the words of the patients, never during the case taking, during the follow-ups, never. We have to judge, we have to understand, we have to analyze on our own. Okay. But yes, once you see that this patient is a genuine patient, he is very good in giving follow-up. There are many patients who are very good in giving the follow-ups. Then you can start, but you have to be very cautious. Again and again, you have to ask them also. Don't fully believe them. But yes, in those certain patients, you can go to this extent that yes, whatever goes right with them, they tell us. Whatever goes wrong with them, they tell us. So in those patients, you can uh, go for those words, go for what they are saying, but still always be cautious regarding this follow. But even with such individuals, we may go convince ourselves on this point by going with them through all the symptoms enumerated in our notes of the disease, one by one, and finding that they complain of no new unusual symptoms in addition to these, and that none of the old symptoms are worse. So, like I told you, that in these individuals, we have to go one point by point on every symptom which we have kept in our notes and find that no new unusual symptom is coming, or none of the old symptoms are worse. If this be the case, and if an improvement in the disposition and mind have already been observed, the medicine must have affected positive diminution of the disease. So if no new symptom has come, like I told you, and the old symptoms are same, they have not gone worse, but we see an improvement in the disposition, we see the improvement in the demeanor, in the behavior, in the mental part of the patient, although the patient is not telling us this thing, but you can see. Many times when I see this thing, when I see such patients, I always tell them that you look better than last time. For example, there was one patient who when he came first, he was around 56 57 years old, near the 60s. When he first came, he came with this dyspnea, and he had ILD, interstitial lung disease. And if you look at his face, and he was taking too many medicines, steroids and anti-inflammatories and all everything. And when you look at his face, he was completely pale, whitish pale face. And this eyes half closed, like, the patient is having no energy at all. When he was speaking, when he was talking, it felt, for to me, I I felt that I should not bother him by asking too many questions. Like when I ask some question regarding anything, I will be very polite and with a tone. It is okay if you don't want to answer. Okay, I can understand, because when I was looking at that patient, I was seeing that that total loss of energy. When you see a patient or completely lacking energy, An inner instinct tells us not to disturb the person. Let him be where he is. So I was having that kind of feeling while talking to this patient. So somehow we gave him the medicine. He came after 1 month. And when he came, he said, Doctor, like I started asking, how is this dyspnea? He said, same. Cough is same. Fever also comes every day. Has to take some medicines and this and that and everything. But now that the word which is used is deathly paleness. That deathly paleness was not there anymore. A normal skin tone, a slightly pink color of the skin of the face has started coming. I can see. And when we were talking, he was able to talk. So that energy was there, which I can see. And he smiled also, which last time he was not able to. He smiled in between on one or two things which we talked about in a light manner. And I told this particular patient that, okay, I can understand because it is that because he was suffering from this problem from past 22, 23 years. So I said to him that I can understand, that the disease has been from a long time going on. It has affected the whole this part. But today you are looking good. The last time I was afraid. Today I am feeling confident. So that effect of the when you see the patient, how they affect you. There will be certain patients, after giving the medicine, when you see them, you feel afraid because something has changed in them, which you can only notice, and you see the medicine is wrong. Okay, the complete opposite. If you say that a person had come with a good complexion and after the medicine, after certain time, he starts getting pale, then you become alert that no, the patient has gone worse. I can see it is on his face, in his energy or in her energy that he is not better. So it makes you afraid. And similarly, when the amelioration is there, when you see the patient, you get confident. No, the patient, although the symptoms are there, they have not ameliorated. But yes, I can see that the patient has changed in a positive manner. I feel confident. So this means that the medicine have affected a positive diminution of the disease. So the diminution of the disease, the amelioration, the decrease of the disease starts from this point. The symptoms have not ameliorated, new symptoms have not come, but yes, there is improvement in the disposition and in the mind of the patient. The energy, the patient has become more calm, the suffering has decreased, and we can see it. Or if sufficient time have not yet elapsed for this, it will soon affect. So if the physical part has not get better because of the sufficient time has not been given yet, but we get a confident that the physical amelioration will soon come into effect. Now supposing the remedy is perfectly appropriate, now if we think that the medicine is completely right, if the improvement delayed too long in making its appearance, this depends either on some error of conduct on the part of the patient or on the homeopathic aggravation produced by medicine lasting too long, consequently on the dose not being small enough. So in such a case where you are saying that mental has become better, you can see the patient has become better, no new symptom has come, the old symptoms have not aggravated, but if the physical improvement does not start in such a case, after some time, after giving a proper time, if the improvement delays, then either some error has been conducted by the patient on its part, maybe something they have taken to stop the further amelioration of the disease, they have done something in their regimen and their diet and something, or the medicine, this homeopathic aggravation, the medicinal aggravation is too long, is lasting too long. It has become long because of the dose being not small enough. So next time, so in that case, we have to wait. It will go after some time. It will take a little bit more time. We have to wait. And then next time we have to remember, we have to understand that next time if the repetition is needed, the dose has to be much, much smaller than what I have already given. Okay, but your medicine is right. We can get this part from this kind of example. On the other hand, if the patient mentioned the occurrence of some fresh accidents and symptoms of importance, signs that the medicine chosen has not been strictly homeopathic. On the other hand, if the patient complains of some important symptoms appearing, some new symptoms appearing, some violent symptoms appearing, or even some accidents happening, accidents where um, uh, like sometimes the accidents happen, like the patient do not know how it happened from their side, how it happened, the patient do not know. So if some kind of those fresh accidents, some fresh incidents, some fresh episodes come, okay, so that means that the homeopathic medicine which we have chosen is not strictly homeopathic. It is not the right medicine. Even though he should good naturedly assure us that he feels better, he must not believe this assurance. Even though the patient says that I am feeling better, like I told you that sometimes the patient, they want to give you assurance. We should not believe that. This is a sign that the medicine is not right, but regard his state as aggravated, as it will soon be perfectly apparent it is. So this is the first sign, and where we have to regard that it is an aggravation. If you wait, then it will become uh, apparent. It will become completely, you will understand that when the aggravation has gone more worse, then we will understand that no, that was a sign, that was a starting sign, a new sign that the medicine is wrong. So we should not wait for it to become more aggravated. We should find a new remedy at that point and give it to the patient. The true physician will take care to avoid making favorite remedies. Now this is the next part, after the follow up part, but there are some cautions, do's and don'ts. The true physician will take care to avoid making favorite remedies of medicines, the employment of which he has by chance perhaps found often useful, and which he has had opportunities of using with good effect. So the another thing which the true physician, the right physician, the right homeopathic physician has to understand is that the remedies should not become favorite. Many times we get some good results with some kind of medicine, with in some kind of symptoms or diseases. For example, you get a very good result in headache with belladonna. So every headache does not mean it is belladonna. Every kind of certain kind of person comes to you with certain kind of symptom, it does not mean the same remedy. So the medicine should not become favorite. That is the one thing which we should be very, very cautious about ourselves. So to I will give a small little you can say trick, or how we can get out of this thing, because this naturally comes. Whatever Dr. Haniman has said about this is going to happen to all of you. It happens to all the homeopaths. But thanks to the organon that we have already been given, so that we can introspect that I am going on that wrong path. This medicine is becoming a favorite of mine. This is what I give always in these kind of cases. This medicine I always give in these kind of cases. This is the first remedy which I give. So little trick in such kind of cases is, you know, though if those kind of cases are coming to you, take it as an opportunity to give a new medicine which you have never used, which you have rarely used. Okay, the symptoms are pointing towards that remedy or some other remedy. Go into that direction. If you are not fully convinced, and if the medicine cannot be ruled out, certain medicine, then yes, you are clear to give it. But yes, try yourself, um, take it like this, that this is a new case, and I would like to give some new remedy so that I can learn about some new remedy, and that will open the case, that will shut the door on that particular remedy which has become favorite, and then it will open the door to many new remedies which you can learn about, which you can employ, and which you can get beautiful results with them. Okay, so if you do so, some remedies of rarer use which would have been more homeopathically suitable, consequently more serviceable, will often be neglected. So the same thing, which can the other remedies which could have been more serviceable. If you feel that, whenever I see a sad person, a depressed person, the netromure comes to my mind. Think in this way that no, today I will give us some new remedy. I will find some remedy which have these symptoms. I will find some remedy which has more sphere of action than this depression, than this sadness. It covers all the physical symptoms also. It covers the past history also. Let me go to the other remedies. Let me see the other remedies which can come instead of the netrum or instead of the ignitia which I am thinking about. So this will open a wide scenario for you. This will create a wide scenario for you from where you can choose some new remedies and you can experiment with those remedies and you can get very good results. Okay, so this thing happens. So we have to be beware of this thing. Okay, if this happens, we should know that these remedies are becoming my favorite. And then don't start completely, neglecting those remedies because sometimes those remedies are the right remedies in such cases. So we have to be impartial. We have to become impartial. This is an exercise to become impartial. If after all the efforts which you have done, still the remedy which you have been thinking has come, then it is the right remedy to give. So don't ignore the remedies, don't make the remedies favorite. So the true practitioner, moreover, will not in his practice with mistrustful weakness neglect the employment of those remedies that he may now and then have employed with bad effects. So the opposite can also happen. You have given a certain remedy and it has not worked in a certain case, or it has not given the favorable results in a certain case. And we start distrusting that remedy. We start neglecting the employment of that remedy. This also happens. But why that bad effect has happened, or why that thing was, it was owing to an erroneous selection from his own fault, therefore. Because I selected the wrong remedy. It was not the remedy that it came out of the cabinet or the dispensary and it fell into the patient's mouth. I am the one who selected that remedy. My selection was wrong because I was not able to understand the case as it should have been. So it is from my own fault that the medicine have given some bad effect, or it was a wrong selection at that particular time. So I should not start neglecting or hating that remedy or avoid them for other false reasons, as that they were unhomeopathic for the case of disease before him. Okay. So any kind of reason, neither the remedy should become a favorite one because once or twice we had good result with it, and neither those remedies should become a neglected ones owing to the erroneous selection. And I will tell you one thing, that if someone is having a favorite remedies, they also have unfavorite ones. They will always have. These two things happen at the same time because we have become partial. So if we are becoming partial to something good, we will also become partial to something happening bad. So that partiality from our mind, that kind of, that falseness in ourselves, that has to be removed so that we can become again unprejudiced. This is a part of prejudice, as that they were unhomeopathic for the case of disease before. He must bear in the mind the truth that of medicinal agents, that one alone invariably deserves the preference in every case of disease, which corresponds more accurately by similarity to the totality of the characteristic symptom. That is a simple thing. Whichever remedy is similar by the totality of the characteristic symptoms, and that no paltry prejudice should interfere with this serious choice. Okay, so anything which is prejudiced, which is uh, presumptuous, that should not alter the choice of the remedy. Our path is straight, that whatever the remedy. Now here the word is used, totality of the characteristic symptom. This is a very important point. Although this aphorism does not point in that manner, but still there are some things hidden in certain, because when someone is telling you about something, there might be many other things which have come out of his not conscious effort, but they can point you towards the totality of characteristic symptoms. The totality on which we prescribe our medicine should be similar to the totality of the characteristic symptom. This is very important. Many times I have seen some homeopaths who have been taking 10 symptoms, 20 symptoms, every symptom which is there, they just put into the repertory, and some remedy comes and they give weightage according to the symptom, and then they prescribe the symptom, the medicine. We have to see whether the symptoms which we are taking for the repertorization, for the analysis of the medicine, whether they are characteristic or not, because the totality only consists of characteristic symptoms, any kind of characteristic symptom. We have already done a lecture on how to on the value of the characteristic symptoms, how to value them. Okay, so this is a wrong practice. If you put everything, then what are the medicines which will come? There will be aconite, there will be sulfur, there will be belladonna, there will be pulsatilla. These are the four remedies which will always come. And at the end, after putting 15, 20 symptoms in the this repertory, you will always get all only those remedies, only those 5, 6, 7, 10 remedies. There will be no new remedy there, because we are putting in the common symptoms. Also, we are putting in the symptoms which are only related with the particular parts. Okay, so this is not the way to characterize a symptom. We have to understand how to characterize a symptom. We have already done that. We have to see the symptoms which are peculiar, which are rare. Those are the characteristic symptoms, and I have given many examples. So our remedy, it should be similar to the totality of the characteristic symptoms. Dr. Hahnemann has very clearly said that the remedies cannot become similar to all the symptoms of the body. There will be no such remedies, but they should be similar to the important characteristic symptoms which the disease is producing, which are giving an individuality to the patient, which are giving an individuality to the disease of the patient. So our remedy should be similar to that part. This is a very important part. It should be noted, because this is the difference between having great results and okay results. The accuracy increases when you start understanding the characteristics in a case. Then your accuracy increases accurately. That only increases when you are understanding the value of the symptom in each case. For example, if one of the case, some particular dream in that particular case holds a great value, in other case it might not have that value. The same dream, one kind of aggravation holds a great characteristic in certain case, it might not have the same value in the other case. Many times I have seen new students going by the symptoms or rubrics, that this rubric is very important. If you see this rubric anywhere, then you must take it. This is not like that. It depends upon case to case, and this is where we make mistakes. We are not understanding the characteristic symptom according to the case. We are just trying to remember that this kind of symptom can be characteristic, or has to be always characteristic if it is there. So we have to understand this thing, and we have to go according to this. We have to practice on this part, that how can I understand a characteristic symptom? What makes my symptoms characteristic? So we will start from 259 next time, and we'll stop at 258. So I had a few queries about certain aphorisms which we have done regarding the dosage of the medicine. So I will make a summary of all those aphorisms, because uh, what we are doing here is the fifth edition of the Organon. Then there is sixth edition of the Organon. There are some changes in that part. So what we are going to do is I will summarize first the fifth edition, especially of those aphorisms which were difficult. Dr. Jonkol has sent me the message, so it will be helpful to all. I will put in the points what is to understand there, what is to understand there. So, and I will also put or summarize the sixth edition part. Both the parts I will summarize and I will put it on the group. I will try to do it this week, depending upon the time which I will have. So that will be helpful for you to understand what is being said, because I think it has some uh, doctors, they have found some parts of it a little bit difficult in understanding. So even if after the giving the summary there is still something which is not understood, feel free to ask and we can go over it. We can keep a special class for that. We can go over it. We can go over the queries and we will talk about that only in that particular class. Okay. So with that, I will take your leave. Thank you and a very good night.